Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back. 3 chicken strips, signature buffalo sauce, and buttermilk ranch. Available for a limited time.
Week number 8 of this Texas high school football season, and finally, we get some football weather this week around here. Welcome to Friday Night Stars. Bill Jones along with Kyle Youmans, and yes, it's beginning to finally feel like football season.
I almost did it. Scott Purcell in the back would have not forgiven me for it ever, but you've seen the new style on television where they'll wear the hoodie underneath the sport coat. I was this close to trying it out and just trying to press my luck because I love hoodie weather. I don't think it would have flown. We've got high school football, so I've got some buttoned up instead. But either way, football weather's back, and it feels right now. Now, it's a little bit late, but we're figuring it out.
That's right.
Week 7.
Yeah, just in time almost for the playoffs, which are fast approaching. And yes, we do see all your hoodies out there, and I love to wear my hoodie too. It's that time of the year. All right, let's get into our Whataburger games of the week, starting with game number 1 in District 4, 6A. A battle of unbeatens here. 7-0 and 5-0 in district play, South Lake Carroll. 6-0 and 4-0 in district play, Justin Northwest. The Texans making a successful move up from Class 5A this year.
Yeah, they've been good so far this year. South Lake Carroll's been the standard, though, and that's not necessarily surprising. The Dragons, with a point differential right now of over 190 to this point, they've won all 7 of their games, and they've done so in a big fashion, coming off of a 50-point outing, and they're averaging 48. They did so against Northwest Eaton, and if you want to just compare the two teams in a common opponent, Justin Northwest has already played Northwest Eaton, and they won 31-14. But South Lake Carroll does so through the air, on the ground. Riley Wormley has just been a phenomenal tailback. 10 yards per carry. He's got 11 touchdowns on the ground this year. He's capable as a receiver as well. 12 receptions, 150 yards through the air, and a touchdown to their side too. So when you have both of these teams going up against each other, you've got a phenomenal defense from Justin Northwest. They like to turn the football over. They are plus in that turnover margin. They continue to score defensive touchdowns, special teams touchdowns, but it's just whether or not their offense can keep pace and win that time of possession back.
And look at that, Bill Poe with the unique play right there. Another interesting part of this matchup is Riley Dodge was on Bill Poe's staff at Northwest before he got the head coaching job at South Lake Carroll. And fortunately for Carroll, they've got a double running back tandem there. Not only Riley Wormley, who, as you know, was lost for the season to a devastating knee injury a couple of weeks ago, but Davis Penn, who's headed to Baylor, is a guy that they are depending on right now, and they've got some other D1 commits as well.
When you've got Trent Wilson up front, the interior offensive lineman that's listed at 6'3", 265, it doesn't matter who's running the football. He's committed to James Madison. They've got Dorsiller as the tight end as well, of a Tennessee Vols commit, a 4-star tight end recruit. I mean, they've got plenty of talent all the way across the board. So even with Wormley going down and as big as he was early in the season, they're going to have an ability to run the football even still.
All right, one of the best matchups of this week in Class 5A. It's District 3 5A Division 2. It's a tradition-rich school, Argyle High School. Their only loss of the season came in Week 1 against Lone Star, and they're traveling to Mansfield to take on a Summit Jaguar team who's coming off a big 1-point win over Timberview last week.
Yeah, that was a big one for Seguin, or for Summit rather, as they've got a lot of teams in this district. This is a tough district. Argyle, Summit, Heritage, Seguin, Burleson, Timberview. I mean, it gets deeper and deeper when you take a look at District 3 5A. But Summit is a team with that 4-game winning streak that has helped push themselves into that conversation, Bill. And even though they're 4-2, don't sleep on the Jaguars and what they bring to the table from a rushing game standpoint as well. Because if they can run the football against Argyle, that's what Lone Star did. They took the time of possession game. They ran that clock down. I was on the call for that game. And they've got Darian Nettles, who has over 600 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns on the year. So expect Summit to try and control possession, try and get that ground game going against an Argyle team that wants to air the football out.
Yeah, McGuire Gasperson, their quarterback, has 15 touchdown passes on the season. They've got a Harvard commit at wide receiver, Will Krzyzak, who has 27 receptions and 7 touchdowns to go along with the running back, Watson Bell.
Yeah, it's a balanced attack, even though they have the 1,500 yards through the air, the 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, so they will give up the football every once in a while, all underneath Gasperson's tutelage. But Watson Bell on the ground, too, 590 yards, 8 touchdowns. You've got to find a way to have that balanced attack if you're Argyle, because, again, if Mansfield Summit wants to control possession, that's how they're going to win this football
That's a
game.
very tough district, too, and so the playoff spots on the line as well in that district. All right, staying in Class 5A, let's go to DISD here, and it's Woodrow against Sauk. The Woodrow Wilson Wildcats 5-1 on the season. South Oak Cliffs 2 losses, came against State Powers first 2 games of the season. They pitched 3 straight shutouts.
Yeah, 3 straight shutouts. 62-0 against Spruce, 50-0 against Adamson, and then 36-0 against Hillcrest. Now, Woodrow Wilson, on the season, they've put up some numbers themselves. 48 points in the opener, 41 points a couple weeks ago against Seagoville, 41 points against TJ, 48 points last week against Adamson. So they can put up some points all the way through, but this is a rush defense and a Sauk defense that is nasty and state caliber-esque. They're going to play physical brands of football. Coach Todd out there has done that all the way through. They're going to try and continue that as well.
Yeah, Jason Todd's team has won 4 straight games. John Fish's team has won 5 straight games. Something's got to give when Sauk the Golden Bears play Woodrow Wilson. Let's go back to Class 6A. Let's go to Arlington ISD for this matchup. It's been a down year in Arlington ISD, but these are the 2 teams that are emerging at 3-0 in district play so far, and that's Arlington High, Coach Scotty Peach, and the Bowie Volunteers of Coach Joseph Sam.
Yeah, Bowie coming off of a big win. They don't normally stand up to the caliber of an Arlington Martin. Well, they dominated that football game, put up 27 points in the first half last week against Martin and rode it to a 34-24 victory. So when you look at the Volunteers and what they've done recently, the 3-game winning streak stands out, but it's because of Larry Nichols at quarterback, completing 67% of his passes, 12 touchdowns to just 1 interception this year. They throw the ball so effectively, and as you can see on this occasion, he knows how to use the ground game too. He has 317 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns, 18 touchdowns to 1 turnover on the year. That's going to win you some football games. On the opposite side for Arlington, this is a team that has had some traditional success. You mentioned Argyle as a team that knows how to win football games. That's the same thing for Arlington. They've had a down year, kind of back and forth with some good games, some bad games. They've turned the football over far too much, and they've got to take care of it against this Bowie defense.
Coleman Craven's their quarterback. Isaiah Robertson, their star wide receiver, has also run the ball 44 times this season. He is an SMU commit. Should be a good one when Arlington plays against Bowie. We're just getting started here on Friday Night Stars. When we come back, let's head to Ford Center at the Star in Frisco for the showdowns at the Star.
This segment was brought to you by Whataburger. Yes, it's true. All new iced coffee has officially arrived at Whataburger. Stop by and enjoy one today.
We're about 15 minutes away from kickoff at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. The showdowns at the Star. Tonight's game, the Denison Yellow Jackets traveling to Frisco to take on the Liberty Redhawks. And then on Friday night, it is the Heritage Coyotes and the Lebanon Trail Blazers. 2 3-3 teams. And Bill Jones along with Kyle Youmans. Kyle, the expert on Frisco ISD football.
Here's the thing. There are 2 different districts, 5A Division I and 5A Division II. I want to get into it a little bit later on, but Heritage has an outside shot to be a playoff team this year, but they have to take care of business this weekend against Lebanon Trail. That's a huge key moving forward.
All right, and let's do hear from those Heritage coaches and players, and they're talking about the thrill of being able to play at the Star.
We tell our kids all the time they don't know how blessed they are until they go somewhere else and play. You know, those kids that are fortunate enough to go play at the next level, some of them won't play in a venue like that, even at the collegiate level. So for our kids, they're truly blessed to be able to play there. We try to relish every time we get to go in the Star, and we love going there and playing.
It's a dream, honestly. It's nice in here. Good to see yourself make plays on the jumbo cam in there. It feels good. You know, it's just so nice in there.
Rivalries, it's pretty cool. It's different than other places. You know, you go to some places, one-horse towns, where the rivalry is another town. Well, here, these boys know each other. They've grown up with each other. Some of them might live a block away from each other and go to a different school. So rivalries are pretty easily had here. And as far as coaches, you know, we're rivals on game night, but when it's not game night, man, we're all on one page. We're Frisco ISD, and we're here to help each other. And, you know, if we're not in the playoffs, we're hoping the other Frisco schools that are in the playoffs go as far as they can, and the other guys are the same. They're rooting for us.
You know, you grow up with a lot of these guys. You see them on the field, go out and, like, have a little competition. It's a lot of fun.
Boy, how great is it to be able to play games here at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, and it's very competitive in both the districts that involve Frisco ISD schools.
No doubt about it, and getting to watch these competitive districts duke it out at the Star in Frisco, I think makes it even more special. But when you look at 5A Division I, I'll start there. There's Lone Star and Reedy. They're at the top of the district. But after that, it's a jumble of teams. Wakeland, McKinney North, Frisco Heritage, and Lebanon Trail, all with multiple wins on the season and all with a legitimate opportunity to fight for that fourth spot. So at the Division I, 5A Division I level, you've got that competitive aspect to it. But then you go down to 5A Division II. I got a chance to call Frisco Emerson and Anna this past week. Emerson was a state semifinalist a year ago. Anna was the state champion a year ago at 4A Division I. They make the jump to 5A Division II. This district has 5, not just playoff teams, but state-run teams. I'm talking state semifinalist caliber, state championship caliber football teams with Prosper Walnut Grove, who's 6-0 on the season. Lovejoy, of course, led by Todd Dodge at 4-2. Melissa's at 4-2. Emerson and Anna, the two teams I just mentioned. 5 teams with 4 playoff spots, and the 4 teams that will get in have a shot to go the distance, but they're going through a gauntlet. You talk about the District of Doom. You've heard that so many different times, and it's thrown around. This is a legitimate District of Doom where a team that's probably a top 15, top 20 team in the state will not even make playoffs out of this league.
All right, we need to follow that closely in the coming weeks leading up to the postseason next month. All right, when we come back here on Friday Night Stars, we take a trip to Mesquite High School, or actually West Mesquite High School, and check in on the Wranglers.
This segment is brought to you by Whataburger. Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back. 3 chicken strips, signature buffalo sauce, and buttermilk ranch. Available for a limited time.
Welcome back to Friday Night Stars. Here's inside the Globe Life studios at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Kyle Youmans. And let's take a trip to Mesquite now and check in on those unbeaten West Mesquite Wranglers with Jet Beecham.
You ready to play?
For the first time in a long time,
Take advantage of your opportunity.
West Mesquite football is making waves.
I take a lot of pride in it. You know, for the kids, some of the the future Wranglers, they look up to us, so we got to bring that back.
After posting 3 wins or less in 5 straight seasons, the Wranglers have already doubled that this year and are knocking on their first postseason appearance in nearly a decade.
We had a goal in mind, and we knew it was going to be hard, and we knew people were going to hate on us or doubt us, so we're just trying to prove them wrong each and every week.
We're not satisfied. We're not content with where we're at right now. We're trying to get the gold ball.
The turnaround comes under first-year head coach Steven Jackson.
If you contend, get out the way. Are we clear?
Who previously led Seagoville to back-to-back playoff appearances in his first head coaching gig.
The kids bought in from day one. They were hungry for wins. They knew the success that West Mesquite once had, so they wanted to be a part of that.
He just changed the culture, and it's fun having Coach Jack on our team.
And it's only getting more fun as the Wranglers chase their first undefeated regular season since 1995.
We preach 1 week at a time here, and the goal is 1-0.
It'll be real big for our community, for our school, man, for the culture of West Mesquite, for the future Wranglers.
As West Mesquite looks to build the foundation for future success.
This is the first big turnaround we had in a long time, and we plan to continue that. And we have a lot of young guys too, so when we leave, they're going to continue that.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. They've done it right here.
Bye week for West Mesquite this week, and they get ready for what will be a showdown next week against Carrollton Creekview, which should be an unbeaten team too.
I can't wait for that one as well. Creekview, kind of a great story. Both teams, really. I mean, both teams have this tradition to them in the past, but recent history has not been kind to both West Mesquite and Carrollton Creekview, but both teams undefeated and working their way back into the playoff picture. It's going to be a fun matchup next week.
All right, let's take a look at the top passing quarterbacks in Class 6A. This is top 5 in terms of passing yardage this season. A couple of names stick out on this list for me, Kyle Youmans. That would be the Alabama commit Keelan Russell for Duncanville, and Chris Jimerson, who North Texas looks like the Mean Green have looking at him?
Yes, they have. He's a hard commit to North Texas. He was committed to TCU as an athlete, as a wide receiver or running back. They didn't necessarily have a spot for him initially, and Eric Morris's bunch said, we'll take you here in Denton, Texas, and we'll let you throw the football around a little bit. And that's a good thing because he's thrown 27 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. He leads the area in terms of touchdown passes as well as the yardage that you see there. And last year, he was just as good as a junior. 40 touchdowns through the air, 3 interceptions. He's a phenomenal quarterback. But I want to say one thing about Keelan Russell, the Alabama commit. He's the #1 recruit in Texas right now for good reason. He is fantastic, and I was just curious. I went online to the recruiting websites, and I wanted to equal what his composite rating is right now as a 5-star quarterback. It's the same exact grade that one Caleb Williams had leaving school during his time at Gonzaga College in Washington, D.C. Gonzaga College, I don't know why I did the air quotes, but Caleb Williams going to Oklahoma had the exact same composite ranking, and of course we've seen what ended up with Williams.
All right, we're going to find out when we come back in a moment. We're going to look at that Duncanville DeSoto game from last week, and I'm going to put Kyle Youmans on the spot. Will Keelan Russell be the #1 pick of the NFL draft in about 4 years?
Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. Yes, it's true. All new iced coffee has officially arrived at Whataburger. Stop by and enjoy one today.
What makes this duo of Keelan Russell to you so special?
Just the fact that we can trust each other. That's all you need is trust and just a good O-line to do it. I put trust in my O-line and trust in Keelan, and we got the job done. After we played St. Francis, I knew St. Francis was a good team, so I couldn't, let them off the hook. As soon as we ended that game, I was straight up to DeSoto. I knew that was going to be the biggest game we had.
Top wide receiver recruit, got the top quarterback going to Alabama, and little wonder Duncanville is having a very successful season. But what a showdown last week when Duncanville played DeSoto.
That was an unbelievable showcase of talent, first off. And I thought DeSoto, we talked about it on the show last week, I thought DeSoto had a shot to win that game because of the talent that they put out there. But once again, Reginald Sample showed that this is a freight train in the Duncanville Panthers that is yet to be stopped. It's unbelievable. They are a phenomenal bunch. They've got a fantastic offensive line. Don't forget about those guys because of what Moore and because of what we've seen from some of these other guys. Their offensive line is still what stirs the drink for Duncanville, and he had a clean pocket all day long to throw the football, and it showed because they ran up the score on DeSoto.
And it was 42-20 was the final score in the game, and that guy Keelan Russell. You say that you struck a Heisman post.
I did.
Going to the last break.
Here's the thing. If you're going to Alabama, you've got to, and you're going to play quarterback and you're going to start for the Crimson Tide, you've got a shot to win a Heisman. It's like what OU was when Caleb Williams went there. You've got a shot to do it. And so, yeah, I think if you're one of the top recruits to ever come out of school, you got a chance to do it. He's just got to continue on the same path.
Another game that was great last week, Jason Witten's Liberty Christian team went over here to Plano, took on Prestonwood Christian Academy. It was a 30-27 game. Liberty Christian's playing Parish Episcopal this week. That is a big showdown in TAPS.
Yeah, Division I state champions the last 5 years with Parish Episcopal, and then you've got the Division II state champions out of TAPS in Argyle Liberty Christian with Jason Witten as the head coach as well. Sawyer Anderson playing quarterback, 3-star Purdue commit for the Panthers. I'm excited to see this matchup because Argyle Liberty Christian was tested last week with Prestonwood. They're going to get tested again this week against Parrish, and they've got to see exactly what the moxie is. If they want to continue on that same trajectory and win another state championship, this is the perfect test.
Give me another game that I need to watch.
Oh, there's a couple good ones. Coppell Louisville was a good one. Emerson Lovejoy is a good one. But I'll give you this one. I talked about that district, 5A Division II up here in Frisco. Prosper, Walnut Grove, and Anna this week. Watch out for that one.
There you go. I wish I could take in all the games. We'll have it for you next week here on Friday Night Stars.